The armies that liberated the Andean countries from the Spanish rule, the armies were headed by Simón Bolívar, a major military leader at the beginning of the 19th century. So there's a historical connection of Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia to Venezuela because Simón Bolívar is the historical figure, the most important historical figure behind the independence process of this country. And so, out of these five countries, the Comunidad Andina started by the 70s and it started to flourish. Obviously, to the left side of the map, we have the giants, no? The big one, the Brazilian. No? This huge, enormous country, very rich, becoming one of the BRIC countries, becoming one of the major exporters now in the world, becoming an economic force in the world. That's so big that you can compare this situation of Brazil with the Chinese and Russian situation. So Brazil is always there, a huge country. Each of the other smaller countries will be like, little mines in front of Brazil. Wow. Only the notion of the geography, just Bolivia, we feel like, Dutch people in terms of Bolivia, I think that 30 Bolivians can get into Brazil, So we see each other very small. Ecuador is even more small, And so you have a giant with strength now giving us the line of integration. We have to get into UNASUR, but we have to have a common coin, friends. But then, some of the Brazilians, at the level of the cabinet, have drawn away from the notion of integration due to the process of the crisis in the European Union. So if you see these countries by their own, you will see them as countries diminished in terms of the strength of Brazil. But this is the reality of the Andean countries. You have Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, with an integration process with the CAN, la Comunidad Andina. Venezuela is in part outside of CAN, in part inside of Mercosur. The situation is very ambiguous. They still go to the meetings of the Congress. The basic size of the country is limited. All these beautiful logistics and buildings, etc., to build up the process of integration. Recently, a couple of years ago, Cochabamba was chosen to be the site of the construction of UNASUR. The capital of the city of Cochabamba will be the place where the buildings will be then built to get the continent going. Bolivia in the middle of the subcontinent, and Cochabamba in the middle of Bolivia. They chosen that place to get all the bureaucracies together and make big constructions, etc., to build up a unified South America. Think about the European Union. The notion goes like this, okay? But these are the Andean countries of the Comunidad Andina. And obviously, if you look at them as a region, you have 127 million, which is already a lot. You cannot fit as small in terms of either Brazil or Argentina. This is a proper specific block of countries, and the CAN, Comunidad Andina, is trying to build up the strength of the Comunidad Andina now that the notion of UNASUR has gone down. We have some 290 languages that are spoken by a similar number of indigenous peoples. If you go into a linguistic reduction of Indian identity. But we are talking about
to have